Oh, boy. Shit. Where's my countdown? What up, my friends? Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast and the live stream of the Eric Zane Show podcast, brought to you today by Blue Frost IT, 616-200-8550, the home of the new star of Tech Tuesday. That would be Alan, who's got the podcasting bug. I think, he's been having women throw underwear at the front lawn of his house since he did his first Tech Tuesday appearance on the podcast. Fortunately, he's got an amazing wife, and he's like, I don't need get your underwear off the lawn, okay? I already have the queen of tech, okay? And she makes me very happy. But nevertheless, this isn't about Alan and women trying to offer him poon. This is about Alan and his expertise with Blue Frost IT, the managed IT service provider for small and medium-sized businesses. You can reach them at 616-200-8550. Okay? You got a business, you need tech support, at least at some point in time, man. You got to set up all the computers for all the people that work with you, especially, a lot of times people are working from home, too. Blue Frost IT is making sure that process has all the maintenance that it can get, so that in case you ever get in the weeds, they can help you out. Blue Frost IT, online at bluefrostit.com. And not to mention, they're setting you up with a solid-state hard drive for your kids' computers. If the kids are having trouble with those slow, spinny disks inside of the laptop, my God, change it out. All right. Thank you to Blue Frost IT for being on board with the show. All right. I'm looking at the comments here. Stevie says, is that Benny? No. Kenny says, does this look funny to anyone else? I don't know what's up with that. I don't think so. Clean the jizz off your screen, perhaps. Kenny, if I were you today, I would look. I still have sponsors to talk about, but if I'm you today, Kenny, I would try to talk as little as possible on the chat, because I'm going to murder the shit out of you in a handful of minutes. It's coming, okay? Because of what you did in this household, and you laughed in my face hysterically. You got me back, you son of a gun. All right? Would you please just shut up for just a handful of minutes? This is my impression of Kenny. I'm actually going to type the things that Kenny writes on the chat that are absolutely pointless. Hey, today is Thursday. This computer's acting up. My joke is getting ruined by this computer. Hey, today is Thursday. Hooray. Hey, guys, I like green grass. Kenny, water is overrated. Kenny, how is everyone? Want to talk about salad dressing while Eric does his show? Kenny, he can write a show and perform it while we engage each other and not pay attention to shit. Kenny, fuck Eric. Let's just talk about what we had for dinner. That's what Kenny does on the chat. Every time I look, you can see there's a little icon, there's a little face next to each comment. And there'll be like 25 comments, and 24 of them are Kenny's face. And then one of them will be someone else saying, "Shut the fuck up." That's how it always is. And then he brings that shit into my household. Wait till you hear this. Kent County Health Department has all the vaccines for your kids. A lot of people have kind of let that slip by, fall through the cracks. Don't let that happen. First of all, flu shot, very important. Get the flu shot. Get the kids vaccinated. Measles, mumps, rubella, whooping cough, pertussis. All of those things, very, very important. And even more. I'm actually forgetting some of them. AccessKent.com/health. Thank you, Kent County Health Department. Prince Army, they've got a class coming up on the 12th, September 12th. The next concealed pistol license class. Call Steve Prince, 616-204-1705. Prince Army. Once you finish the class, you have everything you need to be able to go to your county in Michigan, if you are in Michigan, and then get your pistol license. The class costs you $125. The 12th is a Saturday, so you'll start bright and early Saturday morning, be done by the middle of the afternoon, and then that's it. You're done. Okay? You then have all the training you need as required by the state of Michigan to carry your pistol concealed. Okay? Wow. All right. Here we go. It is the 3rd of September, 2020.
Get back on your highway to hell and get out of a godly man's face.
Please, thank you.
I will leave him when I see. You've not established authority to tell me to leave. You go get a manager. I can no longer.
You have 4 minutes to make your choice to the store.
You can refuse service. Are you refusing my service?
Yes.
Why don't you say we refuse your service? I choose to yell, and you cannot stop me!
The Eric Zane Show podcast begins now.
My son's about to do this shit.
Hey, what's happening? Hey, what's happening? Hey, what's happening?
Now, here's a guy who got tired of being fired by corporate radio. So he took up being fired by Patreon subscribers instead. It's the Eric Zane Show podcast.
Thank you very much, Johnny. Welcome to the Eric Zane Show podcast. It's the daily show where we cover news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. Yes! We stream it every morning live. Okay? Live. Live on Facebook, brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair Grand Rapids Hybrid. You can watch on Twitter via Periscope. That's brought to you by Blue Frost IT, at Eric Zane Show on Twitter. And then on YouTube, follow the show on YouTube if you would, please. Follow on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button after you search Eric Zane Show. Hit the bell notification. Sit through those miserable shit show commercials because I get a handful of nickels every week for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This show was built by audience members. It's unfortunate because one of the people who worked very, very hard and was very, very kind to me in building it turned on the show and became a complete asshole. So he's out of the group. But thanks to the rest of the crew who helped build it. Pellerito and his kid, Sebastian, Doug Lemon, Joe Morin. In a lot of ways, thank you to Tom from Gun Lake, who was the guy that we kicked out of the group for being an asshole. So, hey, thanks for the help, but you're out. Can't have you doing that shit. I don't want to go and revisit all that, but it's true. He did a great job. He was so sweet and kind. I can't believe he went off the deep end and became a total asshole. Hey, I got to fix the camera. I adjusted it yesterday for Patreon so you could get more of a shot of the pooches. And so hold right there. You know, you get to. I'm going to wander over. Talk amongst yourselves. Kenny will probably entertain you with lots of hilarity. Maybe Kenny will ask you what your favorite color is while I'm trying to do the show. Maybe while I'm trying to do the show, Kenny will type something like, "Hey, man, what day of the week is your favorite? I know Eric Zane is telling us a story about how he's got cancer or something, but why don't we sit here and just talk amongst ourselves?" Yeah, while he does the show. Now, truth be told, Dirk got the ball rolling on that discussion. This is how it is. I talk about shit on the show, and then the audience sits there and chats it up like with each other. And I'm under the false impression, I am learning quickly, that not everybody gives a shit about what I say. A lot of these people just hear and go, fuck him. Let's just talk amongst ourselves. And, at the end of the day, I guess I don't care. It's just kind of a smack, kicking my fragile ego to the ground. The snowflake that I am. All right. More on that in a second. Got a phone call yesterday, actually an email from Zaniac John, the mental health magician, sometimes known as the psychopath magician. And boy, is he a terrific magician. I think he was describing to me when I visited him in Nashville, when we did that Zaniac party, that he is about to be like the in charge of the Magicians Association of America or some shit like that, or he gets to wear the sorting hat or something. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. But he explained to me that he's something to do with Harry Houdini. And he isn't just some fucking guy who's playing the shell game on the street. He's like really, really good. His presentation is excellent. The dude is legit. So when I get an email from John about something fantastic, I'm like, well, this is going to be great. And I think John's a big fan of David Blaine. And who wouldn't be? David Blaine is a terrific, terrific magician and illusionist. And he does stunts, okay? I can see it just by looking at his website. David Blaine has done it again, pushing the human body to a new level of extreme. Or maybe it was really, really stupid. I'll explain. A guy died from the Rona, and I think the media, I hate saying the term mainstream media, but it's true. It absolutely is true. The mainstream media is happy that this 60-something-year-old guy is dead. There is a very interesting thing going on concerning the story of the Sturgis motorcycle rally. And I have an interesting take on it. Just what I've observed. I want to go back to my dear meathead with my dad. It is worth another mention, and one portion of it, the twist at the end. Holy shit, was this incredible. It is worth mentioning concerning the whole TV story arc. That thing could not have come together better. And I owe it all to you. I owe it all to the people that started it. Kenny, Patriot Nick, I think the first two I saw talking about it. I hope I'm getting that right. But Kenny was really, really guiding the effort on that. I know I was breaking his balls earlier, but that's all what it was breaking his balls. And he deserves to get his balls broken after what the fuck happened yesterday. Shit! I'm so wound up. Again, Joe Rogan is looking like a huge bitch. Oh my God, is this a catastrophe? This is not good at all. A huge sellout, a huge bitch, a huge asshole, as the show is now available on Spotify exclusively. Man, this is not good. This could really, really hurt this guy. And you think, what does he care? He's got $100 million. Yeah, maybe, man, but I know I would not want this. And he had to have known this was coming. He had to have known. And I doubt we'll ever hear a word about it. And I think it sets the stage for a basically just a dwindling of the population because of this maneuver. This is fucked up. Okay? We got Daisy in here for the second night today, and she, as I've talked about, is the queen bee of the dogs. Daisy is here, and I need to also stress that normally Benny, the one-eyed wonder dog, is brought to you by A&D Cleaning, but Benny is so damn scared of this room. Benny doesn't like me talking loud. I mean, he gets really anxious, and it messes him up. So I am transferring the sponsorship of A&D Cleaning to Daisy, because Daisy, as you can see, as she's crashed out on the couch here, does not mind the spotlight at all. She's over here just sleeping away, snoozing away. You can still see part of her back quarter there is shaved from the surgery. Man, this dog is recovering so strong from the surgery. Bulldogs don't live that long, maybe 9 years. And Daisy's like 6.5 years old, but this dog is in such great shape. She is an ass kicker. She's recovered from this knee surgery, which is a major surgery, better on this one than the one she did 1.5 years ago. So she's just crushing it. She's back to her old self, running around the damn yard, attacking Bruce. Bruce starts humping her. She bites the shit out of him. And she has been just waiting at the gate to come upstairs with these two knuckleheads. And she said, come on, let me up. And I'm like, no, man, you snore too loud. And then so I said, finally, all right, come on up, and I'll just deal with it. The mic probably won't pick it up. Besides, I'll probably be too busy yelling at Kenny and shit for the misery, and I won't even hear you. So, all right, there you go. Daisy is in the house, and I think she kicked the other two dudes. I think she kicked O'Neill and Bruce off the couch. Because normally that's like theirs. And yesterday on the Patreon, we had 3 of them on there for a little bit. And everybody took a nice little screen grab of it and sent it my way. But I think they get fed up. And they're like, all right, we're out of here. Okay. There you go. So the stage is set. Now, before I get to all those things, yesterday's debacle on the Patreon, which I get like the proverbial burr in my saddle, and then it's coming out, and you're going to hear about it. Typically, Kenny is involved in one way, shape, or form. That is because he talks the most on the chat. Well, let's be honest here. Kenny talks the most all the time. There is no such thing. Okay, hold on a second here. I already see it's going on. I already see they're at it. It's already starting. Every time I look, it's always Kenny, Kenny, Kenny. Every conversation, he is dominating. If you've ever spoken to him on the phone, that's how it is. You know, it's like, oh, Jesus, it takes him an hour to tell you one thing, and it's like, shit. Even texting the guy is like, fuck, here comes the War and Peace novel. There is no such thing as a short Kenny conversation. So I'm talking on the Patreon about this viral video of the dude who in Lincoln, Nebraska spoke before like the city commission, dressed up like kind of a dork. And he impassionately speaks to the city commission. You know, he's at a podium. He's talking to the board. It's just single camera on him. And he's like, look, I think we need to eliminate the use of the term boneless chicken wings, okay? Because they're not really chicken wings. They're chicken breasts. And then they just call them boneless chicken wings. There is no such thing as, it was stupid. It was hilarious, kind of, and just a dumb thing to play. Well, this turns into a massive conversation between Zaniac Dirk, Red State Dirk, and Kenny in Nashville. Now, Dirk starts it with about how only blue cheese should be eaten with boneless chicken wings or chicken wings in general. Which is, all right, great. And then Kenny, you know, of course, throws himself into the conversation with, oh, man, yeah, hey, man, I say ranch. And Dirk's like, oh, fuck no, man. Ranch is shitty. Only an asshole would eat ranch. I'm from Buffalo, where buffalo chicken wings were invented. I didn't know that, by the way. And they don't even bring it to the table. You got to ask for it. And Kenny's like, well, yeah, mate. So this turns into like a back and forth between these two knuckleheads. And then that ends, and on my end, and then I'm going on to the next thing. All I want to do is talk about the Dancing with the Stars thing, about how fucking Carol Baskin is going to be on the show. And so, I'm kind of doing my thing, and then I look, and there's still the dialogue going on between them. Now, granted, it usually is delayed by half a minute or so from what I'm saying to what they're talking about because of the lag. But I don't think that. All I see is Kenny like, man, ranch, yeah. And Dirk's like, no, man, blue cheese, red state, Trump, red state, Trump, hell yeah, red state, blue cheese. No, man, ranch. Shit, yeah. Ranch, come on TV, ranch. And then I see that, and I'm like, would you fucking assholes shut the fuck up about salad dressing so that I can continue doing the show? I mean, seriously. I put the show together for a little bit. Can you pay attention to at least some of what I'm saying? Now, this is on me. This is what happens when shows rely on the comments being made. And you have to be very, very careful, because if you really dive into it, all it is you'll get long pauses where the host is looking at the comments, and the host should not look at the comments. Really. I do it on Patreon because there's literally a handful of people that are there, and some great shit has come from it, like yesterday, where I then raged out. Now, it actually kills me a little bit every time that happens. But apparently, to these sadistic sons of bitches, they love it when I get that upset, and I was pissed. Holy shit. And I'm sitting there ranting and raving, and I'm seeing laughy emojis, and then I'm getting texted, man, that was great. And I'm, oh, yeah, it was great. Yeah, sure. Eric gets all pissed off and rants and raves and has a heart attack. Hey, this is the UCLA Transplant Center. Is this Mrs. Zane? Yeah, hey, yeah. We've approved your husband for a kidney transplant. It's all set, ready to go. He's going to win the Nobel Peace Prize, too. This is awesome. Yeah, he's dead. What happened? I don't know. He's doing a podcast, and a bunch of assholes talking about fucking salad dressing, and my husband croaked because he was so pissed off and stressed out of these cocksuckers. While he's sitting there trying to do the show, they're talking about fucking salad dressing. Click. Holy shit. So I'm like, fuck. And this goes on, and I finished it in a rage, and then the text messages say that was the greatest Patreon podcast ever, man. It was awesome. I'm like, I don't think it was. I do not think it was, but I guess it's all whatever moves the meter. Doesn't matter as long as you do move it. So honestly, I'm not mad now. I'm just kind of rehashing. Well, I am a little bit mad. I'm kind of getting reinvigorated about the whole thing. I don't want to look at the comments, because then you turn into like the Opie show. I don't know if you know this. There's a dude named, what the fuck is that guy's name from Opie and Anthony? Opie Bryant? Opie Hughes. Greg Hughes. Greg Hughes used to be at tip top of the heap in radio, and then he's like me. Everything goes to shit, and his career's in the fucking dumper, and he does a podcast, except his podcast makes mine look like fucking Joe Rogan, because this dumb son of a bitch, all he does is goes live, and then people write, hey, Opie, chicken wings, and he's like, yeah, chicken wings, ha 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 ha, yeah, chicken wings, salad dressing, ha 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 ha, yeah, blue cheese, and that's his podcast, and that's how I felt for a little bit, like, fucking bullshit. So you can't read the comments. Now, again, Kenny wants me to read the comments so that he can see me react to all the shit that he says, which is a lot. So for you folks that are actually engaging on the comments on either Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, if you get sick and tired of Kenny, tell him to shut the fuck up. on behalf of me. Okay? That's what you do. Now, you might be like, this is when he's going to call him. No, I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to talk to him because this story is not done. Son of a bitch. Hours pass. I'm seated right here. Diana walks in. Queen of the Forest. She's sitting right in this chair that you cannot see that Bruce has crashed in right now. And I'm doing some work, tying some loose ends, trying to get people signed up on Patreon. By the way, just a side tangent. I had been signing people up on Patreon on the freebies from Bennett Flooring Installation and Kenny, who donated that money nicely. See, that's the trade-off. Kenny is the sweetest guy in the world, and then he takes his hillbilly dick and jams it right up my butthole with this shit. And from that anonymous person. So I've been signing these people up, but I've been paying with PayPal, my PayPal account. I don't want to link my credit card up to their account. But I'm running out of options because PayPal is fucked. I signed up 15 people with PayPal, and now PayPal is saying, fuck you, you can't use this anymore. And I'm like, well, why not? What the fuck does it matter? They think I'm up to no good. I called my bank. My bank is like, it's not us. We've got no blocks on you. So I call PayPal. PayPal, when you call for customer service on PayPal, for your personal account, hit one. Put the last four numbers into the bank account attached to this. I hit that. We are too busy at this time. Go to the website and ask your question. Click. They hang up on you. They don't even give you the opportunity to wait on hold for an hour. So I go to PayPal.com, put in my question, hit send, and that just goes to nowhere and dies. They don't give a shit. I haven't gotten any answers. So for those people that want a Patreon membership for free, hang tight. I'm still trying to sort that out. So I was kind of at my wit's end yesterday doing that shit. Diana walks in, sits in that chair. She's quiet. She goes, how was your day today? It was good. Good. Now, what I mean to say is it was stressful. I had to deal with that shit. Yeah, it was fine. Oh, that's nice. She's looking at her phone, and I can't believe she didn't record this. I don't know. I mean, she's kind of like in showbiz with me. She knows I always want the reaction. If she had been recording this, you would have seen, that emoji where the mind blown, it looks like the head's blowing up. I was like a volcano, like smoke rolling out of my ears when she said, you know what I've been craving? What? I'm thinking she's going to say sushi, dick, whatever, anal, what she always says. One of those three things, anal, sushi, or dick. And then she goes, chicken wings with blue cheese dressing. And I'm like, and I actually said, I go, what the fuck? I go, has he been texting you? Son of a bitch. And she just laughed and laughed and laughed. Short time later, my phone rings. It says, Kenny, no, which is what he saved in my phone as, because of all the times that I've had a conversation. It says that because I'm reminded of the fact that the second that I pick up that phone, I am now committing to about a 4-hour conversation. Okay? At any given day, it would say, Kenny, no. You think I'm lying? Look at it. Hold on a second here. I'll prove it to you. I want to make sure I don't give his number out. Shit. Can you see? Oh, you can't. Anyway, it's long. It says, Kenny, no. I know that when I always pick it up. I don't ever, that doesn't deter me. But fuck. If you pick up the phone, here it comes. 3 hours. 3 hours of conversation. Amanda says, we all have his number anyway. He calls, and I pick it up. I don't even say hello. I pick it up, and I go, what the fuck? And I've never heard this guy laugh so hard. Holy shit, was he laughing right in my stupid face. And so after Diana said that, she goes, I should have recorded. I'm like, yeah, you should have recorded that. I mean, that would have been great. That would have been just a nice bow on top of this big pile of shit from this nonsense. Oh, my God. Folks, we had my brother-in-law Kevin's no-filter moment here at the household yesterday. I've talked to you many times about the latest dynamic in the house after the passing of David on July 30. One half of the Doobie Brothers, God rest his soul. We got the other half. Kevin is now here. He lives here with us. Kevin's no-filter moments need to be sponsored. We had another no-filter moment yesterday here at the household. Kevin has maybe it isn't damaged. Maybe that's just the way he is, his prefrontal cortex, which filters out superfluous details. I think Kenny's is damaged too, and also filters out, things that you might really want to say, like a lot of swear words. So with Kevin, a simple conversation turns into an obscenity-laced tirade. Really not that different than moments on this show. But it always seems like so out of the blue and so strange. We're having a conversation yesterday. And we're talking about the long deceased father, the patriarch of Diana and Kevin's family. That would be Jerry, my father-in-law. I don't talk about Jerry that much. You know, a big giant man from Owensboro, Kentucky, veteran of the Korean War, just a shit kicker. Awesome dude. I love this man. I loved this man so much. Still do. But, man, this guy, on a dime, his mood would change on you. And usually it would go like this. Diana and I would show up with the kids. At this time, just Jim and Jack. They were toddlers, very young at the time, to their house in Birmingham, Michigan. And so we would walk in and we Friday night, we'd drink like crazy. Well, I guess it wasn't. I probably didn't drink because I stopped drinking in '96, and the kids were already. Yeah, I definitely wasn't drinking, but they would. I would show up there, and we'd play poker on Friday night, and everybody would get shit-faced, and we'd eat like kings. It'd be awesome. So you got my father-in-law, Jerry, my mother-in-law, Sue, Diana, Kevin, David, and me, these crazy-ass poker games. Maybe a couple neighbors would come over smoking cigarettes, everybody. And it usually end up in a fight or some dispute as we're playing poker. It was awesome. Saturday, we wake up, sleep in, maybe have some homemade biscuits and gravy because Sue would get up and make them. This crazy, great recipe. We watch college football and more poker that night. And just awesome. Sunday morning, we'd wake up, and Jerry would be in a shit kicker mood and in a foul mood. And it wouldn't take. It was incredible because you'd wake up and he'd just look at you, and he'd say straight up, "When you leaving?" He's tired of everybody being at his house, and I'm like, "We'll get after it as soon as everybody gets up." Yeah, you do that. I'm like, oh boy, he just turns into a dick, huge dick. So I rarely crossed him about this. But you know who would cross him was No Filter Kevin. You know, in terms of pecking order, I'm at the bottom of it. You know, you got Jerry, he's the king of the household, Sue, the queen of the household, and then you got Kevin is the oldest, then David, then Diana. Those three are going to battle it out. I'm down here with the kids. I do not dare step out of line, and I'll get the shit beat out of me. So I just kind of lay low on any of these moments. But Kevin is always rooting for the underdog. So he would witness this shit, and he would call out his dad. And Jerry would get bent out of shape when little things would happen, like my son Jim, he's 3 years old at the time, would put his hands on the glass because then Jerry would have to wipe it down with Windex and clean the glass. You know, anybody who has kids, all the windows are smudged. You know, if you either got dogs putting their noses on it or kids putting their hands on it, every window in the house is smudged like crazy. Well, Jerry would get all bent out of shape because the glass had smudges all over it. So he'd sit there and have a temper tantrum, and Kevin would get in his shit about it, and they would get into a fight, like big time, like dropping all these crazy, horrible things, names at each other, just the worst. And we're trying to get the fuck out, pack up our shit. When you show up When you got kids, you got a playpen and a high chair and the stupid diaper bag full of damn food and just nonsense. We get the hell out of there as quickly as we can. But that was decades ago, okay? Apparently, it's still fresh in Kevin's brain. Because last night we're watching the Tigers game, which, by the way, they got murdered yesterday by the Brewers, up 4-0, end up getting pounded 8-5. Jesus, come on, guys. We're all behind our baseball team. Go get 'em, Detroit Tigers. Go get 'em, Tigers. Anyway, we get into a conversation. I go, your dad, sometimes he had a little bit of an edge. And a lot of people like David, Diana's other brother, David, who passed, thought that I could not stand her dad. I go, David thought that I had a problem with your dad, but I never had any problem with your dad. I loved your dad very much. He was great. Kevin, No Filter Kevin, says, yeah, except for when he started to scream and yell on a Sunday morning. And I'm like, oh, yeah. There's no reason for, at this point, to do anything but laugh at those moments, right? I mean, this was, again, more than 2 decades ago. And, you might look back on it and say, man, he used to get so pissed off when Jim would touch the glass and smudge the window. And, oh, boy, he would get pissed. Boy, I miss him. That's about the extent of what should happen now in the dialogue between me and Diana's brother and Diana. And, all we want to do is do a little reminiscing, But it doesn't really work out that way because Kevy, he goes, yeah, that fucking son of a bitch motherfucker. Right away, I start laughing like I am now because I know it's coming. Son of a bitch. I told him. Son of a bitch. Motherfucker. Shit, motherfucker. As soon as Jimmy would touch the glass and smudge the glass, I'm like, fuck you, Dad. I got the Windex, motherfucker. I'll spray it and clean that fucking fuck you, motherfucker. Son of a bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. And he's getting like all agitated up. And I'm like, man, I'm sorry I brought it up. Just so this, oh my God. I had no idea we would have this much fun with this dynamic of the no filter news. Oh my God. So he drops and then we're all just kind of looking around the room. It's actually Madison was there too. And we're all just like blinking and like just staring at him. And his blood pressure's going up. His face is getting red and he's like huffing and puffing about it. I'm like, easy. It's okay, man. I don't try to talk him down or anything. I'm just laughing at what has now taken place. It's at any given moment you could get the no filter news. And we had it again. That's how we can do it. We can say another no filter moment with my brother-in-law Kevin, brought to you by boom. Shit, another great sponsorship opportunity. Again, Zane, you got to bring him on the podcast. No, not quite there yet. I'm still trying to find out a place of how we can do that. Okay, also on the open, I want to talk about my dad and the deer meathead irony. It's really remarkable how he continues to surprise me. And this might have been, I don't know how to describe this. Some of the folks on the chat said, yeah, it was charming, the protecting that was being done by you about this. Okay. How I'll describe this. My dad's dementia. Like generally in the moment, he's fine. But he is a lot of the times going to forget what the certain nuances of a conversation or a scenario. Okay? Let's back up 1 week. Wednesday of last week, during Dear Meathead, Dad said, my TV just blew up. It was a passing comment. We didn't spend a lot of time on it. And with that, it didn't take long before Sweet Kenny in Nashville and Patriot Nick the gears were going in their heads about getting him a new TV. I go, hey, Dad, I think they're talking about getting you a new TV. And right away, he balked, like live on the thing. And he's like, no. So that's where I thought it ended, but apparently too late. Now, this was on the day when I was busy ranting and raving earlier in the show about all of the incidents with when I was having after kicking dude out of Zaniacs United, and I was really upset about that. I mean, I was really, really pissed. And so I had a conversation with Kenny later in the day about that, and he goes, hey, man, I got some good news. This is gonna right your ship. I'm going to make you feel good right now. And then, he then warmed me up for it with another 35 minutes of conversation, and then he finally revealed that he and you, Zaniacs, had purchased him a TV. So that was huge. Now, you may or may not know, I'm not going to rehash the whole story, but the TV was too big, so there was drama. And then I detailed the story about how Kenny was upset that they were inconvenienced to take it back, and how Joanne was upset because she thought it would look like they're ungrateful, and it all worked out. But it was great. It was one of my favorite story arcs that I've ever been involved in, and what I do now in storytelling podcast. Whenever you have an arc that takes off the way it did, with just a passing comment about my dad revealing that his TV broke, to the Zaniacs purchasing it, to me finding out about it, to the drama that I just detailed about people wondering if they're going to be offended, to actually getting the TV, to all of this stuff, and then full circle, the arc ends yesterday with my dad thanking everyone. Great. But dementia does tie into this. And this was probably the biggest example that has ever been revealed on the show of that scenario. And that is a very real thing. And there isn't a damn thing we can do about it, but just live. And that's what my dad does. And that's what Joanne does. And that's what we all do. So you have this moment on the podcast. We're finishing up Dear Meathead. And Joanne, as usual, is seated in the background. And somebody pointed out, I think it was Sean, that the absolute favorite thing for a lot of people and for him is when Joanne reacts with this robust, jovial laugh. She has a great laugh. And when she reacts the way she does to the things he says, which he doesn't know. He does not know that they are that they're funny. Like, he said several things that were meatheadisms on yesterday's show, and I wrote them down and read them back to him, and she was cracking up. Like, wood is a beautiful thing to have. She roared at that. Then he said, I didn't know stop signs were important. He also said, dirt biking is the greatest thing I ever did. When talking about body modifications, piercing is not my forte. And then he asked the question, are you gonna meet anybody who likes a pierced face? Tattooing is not my... And then I can't read my writing. And with every one of those, she's roaring her laughter. But then we're finishing up. We're talking about the TV. Now, remember, how this all started was Dad revealed his TV blew up, and then the Zaniacs acted. That's the sequence. Dad has forgotten that he revealed that on the show. He thinks in his brain this was all a coincidence. This is that moment captured and the real reaction by Joanne and me. Replaying it for you now. I found this to be one of the most special things I've ever encountered, and it's all based on the fact that he's got dementia. So it's a little fucked up, but it's hilarious. So here you go. All right.
Believe you me, and maybe you know this, I don't know, but it's so ironic that just I would want to say like hours before the gift arrived, which I had no idea what it was, our television quit. Would you believe it?
Well,
It just quit running.
yeah, I know, Dad. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see the connection. What is the connection between the audience, the thought of that, and our TV quitting?
Yeah, well, yeah. Are you telling me you thought this was all a coincidence?
Yeah.
Aw. Well, yeah, it sure was.
I really don't ever think about that.
Absolutely. You know, Dad, the Lord works in mysterious ways.
Yes. Thank you, Jesus.
Yes, he does. Sure. Oh, my gosh. Well, you know, we sure are lucky to have him.
Well, hey, my brain doesn't function as well as it used to. So.
I think it functions beautifully. So that's how it is. He is, it's all a coincidence. So, I mean, holy shit. Oh, God. That, you could have knocked me over with a feather when he said that. Oh, boy. And so, if you are in a scenario where you have somebody who is going through what my dad is going through or my mother, it's much the same with my mother. I have similar conversations. I'm sure you all do this, but you go with it. You just go with it. Don't call them out. Don't embarrass them. Don't say you told me that. Every time is the first time you've heard it. Just take it from me, a little bit of housekeeping. If you have a person in your life who you care about, you don't want them to feel bad, just let it go and just smile and know that you're, I don't know, just go with it. Andrew writes, I usually don't like to look at the comments, but I can see right here. He writes, Andrew writes, seriously, can he be my dad too? Kate, Joanne is a damn gift. Adam says her laugh is contagious. Love your parents so much, says Sarah. Adam referring to the story about when Kevin was giving my father-in-law shit 20-some years ago. Good on you, no filter, Kevin. Us crabby old pot lickers need that reminder sometimes not to be a dick. Oh, my God. Kenny says, Kenny doesn't like the fact. He writes, Kenny, no. Seriously, man? Kenny, it's a joke. You know, it's a joke. I always take your phone call. You're always the first person that I take the phone call from. Don't get all butthurt with me, you bitch. You know what you put me through yesterday? What? Yay. So, yeah, you're not, like, hurt now because you're saved as Kenny, no.
It's not exactly pleasant knowing that's how I'm in your actual phone, man.
Yeah, but that was before I fell in love with you.
Okay. So, wow. Now I got to think back.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's not my, Kenny, it is not my fault that when I pick up the phone, I have to go and like have meals. I have to have Meals on Wheels deliver food so I don't starve because of the amount of time that I have to invest into the conversation. It's not my fault that there is no such thing as a short conversation. How is that my fault?
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. It's I've always been a talker, dude.
I know it. That's okay. I don't have a problem with that at all. I always take the call. I just have to be ready with the IV bag so that I don't dehydrate. I have to snort cocaine to stay awake.
Oh, no. You need to give some of that to Kevin.
You're oh, shit. So yeah, it's all good. Don't get all butthurt on me. I have had it with the butthurt. There is no butthurt here. I always take the call. I know that it's going to take 3 hours, and then that's the end of it.
I love the slight exaggeration.
Okay. Well, at the end of the day, all you have to go on is that you now, after what you did to me yesterday, I call this all turnabout. Turnabout is fair play.
Man, that was so awesome. But she didn't record it because I didn't really give her any background.
No.
I just said he got really riled up about this earlier. If you can, just mention buffalo wings and blue cheese and ranch to him.
Oh, my God, man.
So I should have told her, I guess, yeah, you might want to record this.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right.
I wish I could have seen it.
It sounds like you're masturbating right now. What are you doing?
Okay, I'm just sitting at my trying to stay away from my fan so it doesn't blow into the mic.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So I'm hanging up with Kenny. No.
All right, Eric. No.
All right. I'll talk to you.
Later.
All right. There you go. Kenny, of course. Kenny, no. No. What the fuck was I going to talk about? It's just something just in my brain, and I wanted to mention it. Oh, Amanda, is he taking Monday off? Yes. I will have a produced show from things that I enjoyed in the past on this show, from the Eric Zane Show podcast, moments that were like, I thought was got some traction, were fun, old bits, if you will, just something for you to listen to. So, yes, I will not be here with a live show on Monday. Thank you for the reminder. All right. So that's what's happening. The open of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Before I get to the open acknowledgments, don't forget my new show with Ben. It premieres Friday, tomorrow at 7 p.m. right here. So whatever you get this show on right now, you can get the show with Ben. Live, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Recorded audio on demand after. Do not know how long it'll go. Do not have a name. I had a conversation with Stu McAllister. What are you going to do? And I said, I don't know. This is what you call a soft open. The radio show was kind of like set them up, knock them down. We'd have things that we'd talk about. I imagine in my brain, I see the show developing like, hey, almost like touching base together on what has happened in the news, things that we can talk about, things that I may have already talked about on this show, but when you have a different perspective on them or another person talking about it, it provides for more of a dialogue show. What you have here right now in front of you now is a monologue/rant storytelling show. This would be a dialogue show. Very, very different. And honestly, it's going to take some getting used to for me. When you're used to doing what I'm doing right now is very, very involved and difficult, doing monologue style. There's a learning curve, huge learning curve that I'm still in right now. Actually, dialogue is a bit easier, so I think it'll actually work. Ben and I have been working very hard at separate, him on his podcast, me on mine. I would say what we can pull off now at a moment's notice where we just sit down in front of a camera with two microphones in front of us would be better than anything we had done on the radio because of the vast amounts of podcasting experience, thinking on your feet, coming up with shit on the fly, and no hindrance of radio. Radio sucks so much dick when it comes to just what you can and can't say. And when you don't have those constraints on you, for the most part, it makes for, in my opinion, a radio show that is a heck of a lot more fun. Let's see here. I'm going to download a clip that's probably going to get me in some trouble and probably give me a YouTube ticket. But I don't care. I want to see where it takes me. See if I can pull this off. Put it in Dropbox. Pellerito, I was talking when I had Ben on for the AMA, we referenced one of the times I pulled the curtain back about how much trouble I got in from a bit. Let's see. And we were on the radio on BBL and on the podcast, on the AMA podcast. I talked about the story where I got in trouble for a joke that I told about, with heart transplants. It was the story about the military guy who got his dick blown off by a landmine, and they actually gave him a dick transplant. And that was awesome. And we didn't make fun of that in any way, okay? But what I did do is I said, like you see when people are reunited, or they might meet somebody who donated a heart for the first time, and they like put their ear up to the person who received the heart's chest to hear the heart beating. Well, my joke was, and it'll be repeated here, that's something to do with what if that happened with the dick transplant? Does the loved ones go up to the person's dick and put their ear to it? And some asshole called the show and was pissed off. This moment cost me about $30,000 because I was renegotiating a contract at that time. And the gutless assholes I was working for used it as a motivator to actually cut my pay on their offer even more.
Like whenever there's a transplant, let's say,
thank you,
somebody
Mike.
passes away and they donate the heart to somebody, and then there's always like the news show up when months later when the families meet, and then loved ones of the deceased put their ear up to the guy's heart to hear the heart beating. I can only imagine what's gonna put your ear up to the crotch.
That laugh. God, is that funny. If you've ever seen Big Lebowski, he reminds me of the guy sitting in the chair.
I can only imagine what's gonna put your ear up to the crotch. Yeah. See. Oh, I can hear good blood flow.
A few minutes later.
I don't think so. Like size it.
Okay, now we were in such a shitty scenario there at that fucking radio station. They didn't even give us a person to like screen phone calls, which is such bullshit. Yeah, go ahead, do your talk show with no one to screen the calls. So I pick up the phone, and this asshole is on the other line. We used to call it phone call roulette, and you'd hear that sound effect.
Zane Show, welcome. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, what's up, man?
I don't find any humor in that getting injured by an IED.
Oh, yeah, well, we weren't either laughing at him getting injured at an IED. Stupid. We were laughing about the hilarity of us being morons talking about a penis transplant. So take your high and mighty stuff and stick it, okay? Tough guy. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here.
Okay, so put that guy in his place hard. I was not hearing any of it.
I've about had it. All right. Thanks for wrecking it, dickhead.
Commercial break.
Okay. Now this is where I'm going to get, if I play this with that back with music, I'm probably going to get a YouTube ticket. So what the hell?
All right. In the spirit of phone roulette, virtually gets ruined by Doug. I know his name's Doug. In the last segment, we were wrapping up.
I'll just describe it. I *69 this asshole, and he picks it up, and I go, hey, and I just let him have it. I was, don't fucking call again. Eat shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? I killed this guy. Oh my God. That guy went and called my asshole boss and let me have it, which put me front. Then he called, there's this lady in charge of the company and called her too. This went all the way to the tip top, and they wanted to fire me, and for some reason they didn't. But I was out for extended time. That moment right there, that was in, let's see, Ben and I got in the fight in October. So no, that was well before actually. But that was one of the moments that put me on the hot seat. And Ben and I actually discussed that when we did the AMA. We don't have to worry about that now, which is kind of the point of discussing my show with Ben. I'm looking forward to how it's going to go. Again, I have no idea where it's going to go. It's like shit. I don't want to say we're unprepared because we've been preparing on our own for a long, long time. But I am not going to go into this podcast with a set criteria of how I want it to sound about. It's just I don't want to put any constraints on it. I want to literally let the road take us where it takes us. And I think it's going to be fun, and I'm really looking forward to it. So tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The Open's brought to you by A&E Heating and Cooling. Joe Martinez, and I want to before I get into the ins and outs about Joe's advertising. If you know somebody who needs a furnace installed, okay, reach out to me. And I want to actually open this up to. I had said you can't nominate yourself. I think you should be able to nominate yourself. I think that makes this a little bit more of a process, but it's still worth it to me because, I mean, some of you might be like, hey, my furnace is shitty, but now I got to, I don't know what to do. I mean, I don't have anybody to nominate. I sure wish somebody would nominate me, and you might not have that at your disposal. So go ahead and nominate yourself, okay? And what I want from you is to send me an email, eric@ericzaneshow.com. If you are in West Michigan, that's the one thing. You have to be around here because, I mean, Joe can only travel so far. And somebody is going to get a high-efficiency furnace, okay? And they're going to get it installed, and everything is paid for. 100% free. No strings attached. Just something that Joe said, I swear to God, he goes, hey, man, I've been praying about this, and I'm going to do this. He wants to do 2, actually. And I go, all right, let's just get by this first, and we'll get to the next one later. So if you need a furnace installed, you must send me an email. Give me as many details as possible of how shit is really piling up on you and you don't know where to turn. I want more of that. I want all of those details that are causing you anxiety and frustration. I want to be able to read it and absorb it. And I hate to say it, but only one person can get this, but do send me along the information. It's a bummer, but it's going to take a person who is in the absolute worst case scenario who's going to be the recipient of this. You have till about the end of this month. We'd like to have that squared away by the end of September, and then Joe will have this installed by mid-October. So thank you to Joe at A&E Heating and Cooling. Send me your information to eric@ericzaneshow.com. All right. The folks at DTE, that is the gas company around here, have just added a new level of rebates. Now, a lot of the times when Joe is installing furnaces from the Comfort Maker, they are high efficiency. Not everybody buys a high efficiency furnace. Like this install, this is going to be a 96%er. That means it's 96% efficient. Okay? 96 and up is the absolute best. I have an old one, and I'm going at 89. The only reason why I'm going at 89 is because Joe services it. If you get a 96% installed, DTE would normally give you $250. Now they're adding $200 to that. So if your furnace installation, whatever the cost is, you're going to now knock $450 off of that. To take advantage of it, reach out to Joe Martinez, 616-516-8579. Some of you people who've got those old furnaces, man, they're running in the 70s. You do not want that. You got to get a high-efficiency furnace, okay? 96% and up. It's a lot less than you think because, first of all, the rebates. Second of all, it's Joe Martinez. Go ahead and get 2 estimates from the usual people that you see driving around with their 100 vehicles or fleet of vehicles and their uniforms. Joe has no uniform. He's got a T-shirt that says A&E. He's ultra handsome Latino dude, and he's got a couple of dudes that help him out that are family members. 1 van, that's it. Low cost, no overhead. You save. You get the rebates. Joe Martinez, 616-516-8579. I got a car dealership on board, and they're the freaking best. Sarah Honda used to be known as Rivertown Honda. Sarah Honda is on Kennewa, just off 44th Street in beautiful Granville, Michigan. SarahHondaGranville.com. If you're in the market for a new car, please patronize them. Drop my name. Honda cars run forever. And if you don't get a brand new one, you can get a certified pre-owned there. And that is so much like new, you won't believe it. Go and visit the great folks at Sarah Honda Granville and drop my name when you are in the market for a new or certified pre-owned Honda vehicle. Thank you, Sarah Honda. Last for this little bit of advertisers, the Shoreliners. These dudes stripe parking lots. They stripe parking lots, the inside of workplaces that need paint on the floor, and athletic fields. Granted, we're not really having too much athletics right now, but some of the schools, they have the ADs, and they say, all right, we're putting some new turf in. We got to paint it, or the baseball field, or whatever, man. They do that at Shoreliners Striping. Their website is shorelinersstriping.com. Make a great first impression with your customers with a freshly painted parking lot. Okay. Now, I'm going to see if the psychopath magician. I don't think John will be able to join us, but that's okay. He says, I don't know if I'll be able to talk today. I will if I can, but if I'm doing work-related stuff, I won't be able to do that. Okay. No worries. I have phone numbers saved of people that I didn't know I had their phone numbers saved. Zaniac John, the psychopath magician. I just looked up John Midgley. I go, oh, shit, I do have his phone number. People are like, oh, man, I don't give my cell phone. Why not? I can just ignore it. I mean, with Kenny, I just write, Kenny, no. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm not talking to him. I don't have 3 hours to spend. All right, you all get nicknames, whether you know it or not. Now I feel bad about that because Kenny gets all butthurt about things. Oh, man, I'm going to hurt my feelings. Like, come on, you're spending the night at my house. If I didn't like you, I wouldn't open up my house to you and your 800 kids. Hey, man. Phone call number one. Hey, man, I'm coming to see you. I'm coming to see you for, I'm coming to death. I'm coming to see you for paintball. Oh, my God, they killed Kenny. Paintball war number 10. Saturday, October 3rd. I'm coming to see you from Nashville. Sounds good, man. 3 hours later, he hangs up, calls back 1 minute later. And then in 3 hours' time, he says, hey, man, I'm bringing my son, Derek. You got room for Derek? Yeah, man, no problem. I can't wait. It's going to be fun. Finally get done with that conversation, calls back. Hey, man, Rachel wants to go, man. My 19-year-old, she wants to go. She wants to watch. I go, well, she's going to have to play, but all right. Yeah, absolutely. You got room? Yeah, sure. Come on, man. Bring everybody. I don't care. Hey, man. Hey, my 8-year-old Kelsey, man. She's coming too. What do you say? Absolutely. I can't wait. The more the merrier. She can hang out with my grandkids. They'll have so much fun. 4 dogs. We got 4 Hinsons. The dogs and the Hinsons packing into the house. You're going to get the full treatment for that event, Kenny. You and the Hinsons are going to hang out with No Filter Kevin, the dogs. Oh, my God. We're going to have it's going to be crazy. It's going to be an orgy of fun with me and your kids. So don't act like I don't like you. I love you. It's just so, in fact, I saved that into my phone probably like 3 years ago when I thought you were a rapist. And I know you're not a rapist. I mean, that would be silly to think that you're into rape. Jeez. All right. We need to talk about David fucking Blaine. Let's back up, first of all. This is the guy who does, he's a terrific magician, and he's done all sorts of weirdo shit. Some of the things I've seen, the most fantastic things I've ever seen him do has been these street magic. And seeing some of the stuff he's done. He does that one deal. He has a card trick where I forget how it is. I think you like pick a card and then you like put it in the back in the deck, and then he takes the deck of cards and he throws it at like a window, right, because it's on the street and there's storefronts. And then all of the cards fall to the ground, but her card is face up, facing, stuck to the glass, but it's stuck from the inside. How? What's happening there? I mean, that's some serious weird shit. Zaniac John is just as good at that type of magic. Zaniac John, the mental health magician, blew everybody's mind when we were together in Nashville for that dinner that we had when we visited Tennessee, Diana and I. And I was like, what the fuck, man? He did some crazy, awesome shit. So he loves magic. He loves Blaine. Blaine also does stunts. Now let's go over the resume of what this guy has done. Let's start with when he caught a bullet in his mouth. David Blaine actually did that. He had like a metal cup in his mouth, and he had behind it like protection in his mouth, but he actually stood still while a marksman shot a 22 round right into it. And you see it frame by frame. He actually did catch a bullet in his mouth. Let's see. He's done I've got a whole long list of things that he has done, and it's all on his website. It actually says stunts. Electrified. On October 5th, David Blaine began performing a 73-hour endurance stunt during which he stood atop a 22-foot-high pillar at Pier 54 in New York City, surrounded by a system of 7 Tesla coils. The coils directed an electric discharge of 1 million volts at him for the entire duration of the performance. The event was live streamed over 400 million users worldwide. Well, that's cool. Now, I don't know the intensity of what it was like when he was getting blasted with the electricity, but it sure looked awesome. Drowned alive. He was submerged in an 8-foot diameter water-filled sphere in front of Lincoln Center in New York City for 7 days and nights, using tubes for air and nutrition. Suffering liver and kidney damage, he concluded the stunt by attempting to break the world record of 8 minutes and 58 seconds for breath holding. I don't know if he eventually did it, but he at least attempted it. All right, I'd say that that's pretty freaking cool. He actually, on the Oprah Winfrey show, I think he attempted and may have set a world record for breath holding. Yeah, it was on October 30th, 2008. He appeared on Winfrey's show to attempt to break the Guinness Book of World Record for breath holding. He succeeded in holding his breath for 17 minutes, 4 seconds, setting a new world record for oxygen-assisted static apnea. I don't know what that means. A little over a year later, he described his journey in his notable 2009 TED Talk. I'm not sure what oxygen-assisted static apnea means, but if the guy held his breath for that long, that's freaking insane. All right, that's a big deal. I can't really punch a hole in that. There was the Frozen in Time one. You remember that? He was November 27, 2000. Blaine began one of his most difficult endurance challenges of his career, encased in a massive block of ice in Times Square for 63 hours, 42 minutes, 15 seconds. Battled severe sleep deprivation and freezing cold temperatures. They ended up removing him. So, all right, drawing a lot of attention. I get it. And still, that sounds like a very, very difficult thing to do. Buried alive. April 5th, 1999, his first public appearance feat. David Blaine was buried underground in a plexiglass coffin underneath a 3-ton water-filled tank for 7 days and nights, surviving on nothing but liquids. All right, now we're talking. That's all crazy. All of those, I think, are exceptional. He did a YouTube event yesterday, and John reached out to me, and he said, hey, man, hang on. Let me bring him in here. He says, now is a good time.
Hello, sir.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Can you explain what's going on when they throw a deck of cards at a window and then the one card somebody picked is on the inside of the window? That's a trick, right?
That's an effect that is at least 170 years old.
Oh my God. I'm afraid to ask. I kind of don't want to know. In fact, I'll just say I don't want to know.
I wouldn't tell you.
Thank you. You are. Is that called like magician code or something?
Yeah, that's part of it. Especially when you get into kind of a hierarchy in the world of magic. There are certain things that you share only with magicians.
Right.
So I'm willing to teach people if they're interested, but it's almost like an apprentice type thing.
Yes.
You work your way up.
No. And you are formidable. You are very, very good at what you do. There was a show that was out years ago where the masked magician would like reveal the tricks. Do you remember that?
Yeah, Valentino. Yeah.
Did they ever find out who that guy was who was doing it? And did they?
Yeah, his last name's Valentine or Valentino. The whole magic community knew who he was before he revealed it. That guy ended up doing that because he was in problem. He had some issues with taxes, and he needed to get money.
What an asshole!
Well, there's two schools of thoughts on that. There's one that you're not allowed to expose magic, and that's not what you should do. But then there's a whole other school of thought that's like people really enjoyed it. It brought attention to magic, and if you go back and ask somebody how it was done, they don't remember.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but that's all after the fact. I mean, at the time, we all thought it was like something that was really, really. I mean, that we didn't know that we'd forget it, so it was damaging at the time. But the guy, I thought he was going to wind up dead, frankly.
No, he's still very much alive and still very much performing under the moniker of the masked magician.
You described to me that you're in line to be like the wearing the sorting hat or some shit. What is it? What is it again? Can you describe to me what you're supposed to be doing soon?
Right now, I'm what's called the Regional Vice President of the Society of American Magicians. So the Society of American Magicians is the longest magic organization, and that was the organization that Harry Houdini was president of up until his death. So there's been a lot of we have deans and presidents, and they're like the Howard Thurstons of the world, and just these major players. And so it looks in a few years that I will be climbing the ranks to potentially be in that situation.
You're going to get more powers. You know what? It must be. In the realm of showbiz, you do what you do. I do what I do. I know that if something I'm doing, whether I'm just telling a story or I'm telling a joke, and it lands, there's great satisfaction for me personally when I can see that result. For you, when you see the people blown away, like I am when I see magic, is that really why you do this? Is that the reason?
Yeah, for me, it was more of a gateway of learning how to re-communicate with people. So I was going through a downtrodden time of life, and I didn't really, with that depression, didn't know how to really talk to people. And so it was appealing when I saw David Blaine on television for the first time that, holy cow, I want to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And sought that out and was able to do that. And I was able to find my voice through that. Now, other people are just performers. So there's this guy named Robert Houdin, who is the kind of modern father of magic. And he coined the phrase that there are no magicians, there are only actors playing the part of a magician. And so there a lot of theatrics are in that. So a lot of people who are into drama and stuff, that they're drawn to that. That wasn't my calling. That's not how I got into it.
Well, I love it. I absolutely love it. And you mentioned David Blaine.
Yeah.
And I'm just surprised that you've gotten to this level where something as pedestrian as him going skydiving could somehow make you think that this was special. What's happened there?
I like the exchange. You're like, so he went skydiving.
He did go skydiving.
He did. For those 25,000 feet.
For those people who don't know, David Blaine was elevated into the air by a bunch of balloons, helium balloons, and he was holding on to it with his hand, but he was strapped under his arm. So that was all for theater. And he had an oxygen tank so that when he got as high up as it was just short of the height of Everest by like 4,000 feet.
20,000 feet is when he finally put that oxygen mask in.
So he, and that's, he starts breathing the oxygen. And then once he gets to 25,000 feet, he lets go. And then he has a parachute. He pulls a parachute. Oh my God, this is really sad to me, considering guy who, he caught a bullet for God's sake, and now he's not only is he just parachuting. A normal halo jump. A halo jump is regular people do it at 30,000 feet, and they pull the chute at like 3,000 or 4,000 feet. Blaine pulled his chute at 7,000 feet. My God, this is so not impressive.
So I will explain my viewpoint on it. It's funny that you call the bullet catch and you find that fascinating. I think his bullet catch was horrendous.
What?
But yeah, and there's reasons why. And I can go into that. But for this, if you look at it as a piece of art, is how I looked at it. So the reason why Houdini was so fascinating to the people is people are going through a depression. They see this man in impossible odds who is able to escape, and that brings hope to the people. And at least that's some of the school of thought. With Blaine, imagine this world in which you don't have to imagine, we're in it, where there's all this conflict. Everybody's upset. Everybody's frustrated. Everybody has their own point of view. And no one appears to be getting along. Now, that's kind of more motivated with how it is perceived through internet and media and whatnot. But here's a man who takes a simple concept of when I was a kid, and I think we've all probably had this, where if I had so many balloons, I could just hang on to it and I could float. And it's such a basic core concept of child wonderment. So here's a man who has this idea, who over the course of 2 years comes up with a way to make it happen, to give the visual of a man simply floating away, holding on to a bunch of balloons. And not only that, I look at it as it going deeper, where he has a team, a ton of people that all have to work together to make this single image, this event happen. Now, there's all these other things that need to take place. So it's 2 years of preparation. It's getting certified and flight licenses and getting, permission for restricted airfield area and all this other stuff, and then practicing skydiving and all these things to make this happen. So for 2 years, all this work goes into it so we can have an image of a man who's floating up into the air holding onto helium balloons. I just think that seems like art to me, and it also seems inspiring to me that even though you may not like it and other people might think it's stupid, somebody put forth a ton of effort to make something happen like their vision, just like you do with your triathlon and stuff.
So do you have this type of whimsical namby-pamby view when you do something as simple as take a dump?
Well,
you sit there go,
I had pancreatitis a couple years ago, and she took a dump. Yes.
All right. Look, I want to go over some facts for you.
Yep.
In 2016, another guy did this. Jumped 25,000 feet with no parachute.
Oh, yeah. That was part of his team. That guy was part of his team.
He was. That would be Luke Elkins.
Luke Elkins. He's featured prevalently on that special.
On yesterday's special?
Yeah.
Well, why didn't they show the part of the video where Luke Elkins says, "I think you're a pussy because I already did this with no parachute. Fuck off."
He didn't. He was very supportive.
Okay. We also need look no further than, I hear you got David Blaine on his dumb balloons from 25,000 feet. Felix Baumgartner did it from like 129,000 feet. And then shortly thereafter, Alan Eustace from Google executive did it from 136,000 feet.
That is incredibly impressive.
So basically, Blaine is shitty, is what you're saying.
No, that's not at all what I'm saying. I'm saying it was a moment of, for me, a metaphor in life and inspiration.
Oh, God.
That's the mamby-pamby part of it. That's the artistic mind of me.
You are such, if you're, for Mrs.
It's philosophy.
Yeah, it is. There's a Mrs. Midgley, right?
There is.
She must, she probably married you because of that sweet, serene, sensitive, reflective quality that you have. That's why she loves you.
That's actually not right. I was a pretty hardcore rocker, and she was attracted to me through my music.
Oh, really? Well, then now she must think you're a huge pussy.
I think that's possible. Well, now we have kids, so it's. I think it all worked out. I have the bad boy, and then now I have we have kids, and now he's calmed down.
She's like, "Ooh, I want you to go back to the rock days. Forget this stupid
maybe when the kids get older." Yeah.
All right. Well, you said you've got more work to do today. There's some other people that you have to help out in your day-to-day activities of helping people, which is part of your thing. I just wanted to bust your balls about this dumb Blaine stunt, and hopefully he'll turn it around.
He'll turn it around. Okay, sounds good.
All right, you're a good man, John. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
All right, they're very good. There you go. That is the mental health magician. That would be John Zaniac John in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. He's good. He is really good to talk to. I've got an army of people who are just so damn interesting. You got Kenny, who's always a laugh, even though right now he's on my shit list for the blue cheese catastrophe. Tom Steele, COVID Tom, was a hit yesterday. That was great fun. Zaniac John just smashed it out of the park. The list goes on and on. David Blaine, I'll link all that nonsense up from his stupid shit show yesterday, and you can watch it. And I'll also link up John's the stuff that John does. His presence online as the mental health magician. He actually, that's remarkable. Professionally, he helps people in need in the world of mental health, and he's a magician. And somehow he's combined that to become really, really good at what he does. He joined us on BBL for a period of time. There was a segment that we had on there. I wonder if Pellerito has that. We could go back in time and play that on Lost Zane tape so I can get sued. But whatever. There you go. David Blaine in the books. I just realized I got a text message. All right, never mind. I get text messages, but I don't. I think Denny sent me a text from A&D Cleaning, and I don't know what the hell. Okay, never mind. Forget it. Forget that I said that. Yesterday, the governor of Michigan, we were all set waiting to hear her say, "Hey, everybody, guess what? The bowling alleys are open. You can go to the gym. You can go to the bowling alley." Nope. Big Dick Donnie is punched yet again right in the belly. We'll keep you posted for when we're going to have our bowling party at Howard City Lanes. If you want access to the $25 gift certificate giveaway, compliments of TC Paintball, you must send me an email, okay? Eric@ericzaneshow.com. Eric@ericzaneshow.com. Send me an email, and I will put you in the drawing. Now, some of you might be like, "Hey, I'm not going to be going to Howard City Lanes, but I was thinking about joining you if you do a party there." Well, we're going to have a party there, so do send me an email and just write in the subject line, bowling. We've got a realtor on the show that is Henry Steffes. Thank you to him. The Steffes Group of Keller Williams Realty. Man, I'm telling you, the way he and his staff go through your home and make this process fun, enjoyable, and boy, he is on top of it. I've heard other people that work with realtors are like, "Hey, man, it feels like he just, got my money, and then I haven't had any further contact with this person." There's so much more to being a realtor, and Henry Steffes has that covered. TheSteffesGroup.com if you need more information about what Henry and his staff can do for you in selling your home. TheSteffesGroup.com. BK Guns and Stuff, the gunsmith of choice for the Eric Zane Show podcast. In Saranac, Michigan, you can reach out to them, 616-902-2447. BK Guns and Stuff, and they service weaponry all across the country. Reach out to them about how you can get the weapon to them so that they can fix it, okay? Repairs, cleaning, refurbishing, customization, whatever you want. Click on their logo at ericzaneshow.com. Take you right to their Facebook page. You can get more information there. And then, of course, this show comes to you from the Metalworks Body Shop Fear Bunker Studio. That is this. Thank you to Metalworks Body Shop. If you have a camper, travel trailer, fifth wheel, motorhome, whatever it is, you crack it up, you take it over to Metalworks Body Shop. They are in Coopersville, Michigan. A lot of these sponsors, you're like, man, I haven't cracked up my camper. That's okay. I'm just going to keep reminding you that you have a guy. When and if that happens, and it could happen, not saying it's going to happen, but it could happen, that's where you take it. Metalworks Body Shop. Thank you to them, and thank you to all the sponsors for keeping the free podcast free. Got a lot more to talk about on the show, including Joe Rogan. I'll get to that. First, I want to take a quick look at the email, see what's up on the Green Clean Technologies inbox. Let's see. Kenny, very nicely, giving me a tip that John Zaniac, John Midgley, the mental health magician, is free. He sent that in the comments. Thank you very much, Kenny. Tyler's playing paintball with us. Let's see. Kevin in Muskegon has a question about No Filter Kevin and his dad from the interaction back years ago. Did your father-in-law Jerry change his tune after Kevin gave him a bunch of shit and got into his face? Or was the old man still a dick? Signed, Kevin in Muskegon. And no, he did not. He backed down. Well, I'm sorry. Yes, he did change his tune. He did not get in Kevin's face. Kevin is pretty intimidating when he's angry. And Diana's dad did back down because Kevin was so pissed. And Kevin apologized later. Kevin in Muskegon adds, P.S., fuck Kenny. I don't slam energy drinks from morning till night. That is in reference to the sometimes lack of energy that is seen from time to time on the Zaniacs Global.
The clip of the day.
All right, I know you guys have been dogging Kevin in Muskegon about the lack of energy. He is aware of it, and he is going to improve over my dead body. There's no way in hell I'm going to be offering my tutelage to somebody and them not respond to the advice I give. I have deliberately avoided enjoying the
clip of the day
until he's had more time to work on it. It's not fair for me to sit there and 2 days after the fact listen again and then let him have it right between the eyes. I'm going to give him a little bit more time to work it out, and then I will listen to
the clip of the day
and assess if there has been improvement. Now, I want you all to follow him, Zaniacs Global, on YouTube, but do not watch any of the videos, especially if you don't even hit play and you're driving just to listen to the audio, because you will die. You will crash the car. All of the oxygen will leave your brain, and the blood will leave your brain. It'll settle in your feet, and you'll die when you crash the car because you're listening to
the clip of the day.
You must let me listen to it and give you the okay. But he still wants you to follow him. Okay? So I will go so far as to promote it. You must follow him on YouTube. Search Zaniacs Global, but I'm fearing for your life right now because he is still very rough around the edges when making
the clip of the day.
I don't want you injured. Leave the heavy lifting to me. He has improved to some degree. We made it very clear that he has made some improvement where before it would only cause one to be suicidal. Now it only is 100% unlistenable. We made that distinction, and we are growing as a unit, and we are going to improve. So, that was, 2-3 days ago that we got into
the clip of the day.
We'll circle back in however many days that is and have another update to see if Kevin in Muskegon has made improvement. If he has not made improvement, we will hammer him even harder. Okay? It's going to be a bludgeoning. I'm expecting some response. I said the biggest thing we need to work on is the energy level. All right? I don't know what trick you have to do. What tricks he would have to do to get himself excited, but maybe post it behind the camera. I don't know, nude chicks or something. Picture of Kenny naked. Maybe that would excite you. I have no idea. I'm just spitballing here. You must follow Zadiacs Global on YouTube. Now, if you really want to watch it, make sure you're in a safe spot. Lying down on the floor is the preferred posture for any of the content, so that when you pass out, you do not injure yourself. This is key. All right. Eric at ericzaneshow.com on the Green Clean Technologies inbox. All right. Interesting thing going on right now. You remember the big Sturgis motorcycle rally that went down. And one of the things that they were talking about was how the Sturgis motorcycle rally is an enormous gathering. In fact, of all the things that have happened in the United States since COVID-19, the biggest gathering of people has been the Sturgis motorcycle rally. They were down, about 15, 16, 17% this year. But still, more than 400,000 people were at the motorcycle rally. Now, depending on where you're getting the information from, you're getting a story being fed to you that it was an outrageous success or it was absolutely devastating. I saw a story yesterday that said, here is the tally of the so-called carnage from the Sturgis motorcycle rally. And it listed the states and the number of cases from people who attended it. So right now we are far enough removed from it that the numbers you see are probably going to be all the numbers you're going to have. Now, this is kind of like a no bullshit zone, this show right here. So I'm just going to give you the facts. 11 states have had positive tests from people related to the Sturgis motorcycle rally. There have been 260 cases tied directly to the event of COVID-19. And the latest is that a person has died. One dude in his 60s, underlying conditions, was hospitalized in intensive care after returning from the rally, and he did succumb. So I'm sitting there looking at the story, and from the perspective of a publication that is more right-leaning, they're like, oh yeah, look at this. Only this many people have been affected. And that was before the death was announced. Today, the Washington Post, as blue as you can imagine, a left-leaning publication, is making this huge deal about, hey, the first fatality has happened. Oh, my God, it's Sturgis. It's 260 cases in 11 states. Is it just me, or does that not sound like a lot? I mean, I would guess that people who are, sky is falling on the pandemic would be intrigued by that low number. I don't think that sounds very high at all. 260 cases and one person has died after more than 400,000 people gathered, and they didn't give a fuck. Did you see that you would have Smash Mouth of all bands? It was a who's who of shitty bands that was performing at the stupid thing. It always is. It always is just a bunch of shitty bands there. They got Smash Mouth, which to me sounds like the worst. I'd rather get coronavirus than see fucking Smash Mouth. Those assholes are on stage, and all these bikers are like, yeah, Smash Mouth. First of all, what dude who rides around the country on a motorcycle would be interested in seeing Smash Mouth? That's the fucking guys who did the fucking soundtrack to the movie Shrek or whatever. I'm a Believer. They did a cover of the Monkees song. And then didn't they do Walking on the Sun and Hey Now You're an All-Star, Get Your Game On? That thing? Excuse me. What? You're going to go to the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally to see Smash Mouth? I'll take the coronavirus. And there were thousands of people, elbow to elbow, no mask, saying, fuck this thing. And 260 get sick, one death. I would say scoreboard at this point. I would say that all of those asshole bikers in their stupid costumes that look like Patriot Nick have won. So any reporting of this by a left-leaning publication saying, look, someone's died and there's 260 cases, that's music to those biker bitches' ears. Now, if it were, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 and growing every day, all right, I'm kind of embarrassed for any left-leaning publication for even throwing this out as a story. One guy died? Who gives a shit about that guy? And 260 cases? That's it? That's all? Man, I don't know. I would say that the people who went to the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally are turning around and saying, see, no big deal. We can handle 260 cases. And it's probably not going to go up much more than that. Because those people, hopefully, once they got it, would have done their due diligence to make sure that nobody else caught it. I would guess that this is the last story we hear about the so-called troubles at the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. Did it look crazy as shit? Yes. Do I ever want to go to that fucking disaster? No. But for all the people that were worried, remember the governor, that hot as shit, Kristi Noem, is like, it's got to be no problem. Shut up. They're protected with my hotness. I think it worked. But it's still very interesting to me that left-leaning publications are like, first COVID-19 death linked to Sturgis Motorcycle Rally reported in Minnesota. With the byline, the case involving a biker in his 60s is one of at least 260 infections traced to the event last month where many declined to wear masks. If you have that many people and only that many cases, that is a win in my book. That means that they're going to have, if I'm, I actually trump that number. Donald Trump should be trumping that number, saying, see, it was no big deal. Shut the fuck up. All right. So that's my take on that. Seems to me it wasn't that big of a deal. Hell, wasn't there somebody who was, more people were mauled by animals than died from COVID-19 associated with the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally? Who was that lady that was thrown around? What animal was it that threw her around? Was it a moose or an elk or some shit like that? All right. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage, 231-332-6505. Call upon Mario when you need a mortgage from anywhere in the United States. he's gotten calls from different parts of the country from Zane Show listeners, Zane Show podcast listeners, like, Mario, can you help me? I'm in whatever town. Hell yeah, he can help you. Call upon my mortgage guy, your mortgage guy, the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. The special care and attention from Mario and his staff, second to none. 231-332-6505. And I won't hesitate to kick his ass because I'm here on this show talking about how great he is. And sometimes he gets so busy helping people, all of a sudden there's somebody in the voicemail and they didn't hear back. You come to me. If he doesn't call you back, you come to me, and I'll text him directly and say, hey, dude, what the fuck? I can't be on the podcast talking about how great you are, and then you're not calling so-and-so back. I've had to do that more than once. That's because he's so busy helping people. Sometimes he's like, holy shit, I don't know. Well, hire more help. 231-332-6505, the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage, NMLS number 3035. Going up north for the holiday weekend, drop by Baldwin Ace Hardware. Terrific support staff at Baldwin Ace Hardware. You know, that's the way it is these days. Of all the brick and mortar entities that are going away, one that will not is your local Ace Hardware, because you have all of the expertise and not that big, gigantic store. Everything you need at Baldwin Ace Hardware as the big, gigantic store. It's just not a warehouse, okay? Go there and mention the show. Baldwin Ace Hardware at the edge of the Manistee National Forest. Thank you for being on board. And then, of course, there's A&D Cleaning. Amy Porter has sponsored Daisy being in the studio here. I had to change that because Benny's too much of a psychopath to be in here with us. So thank you to A&D Cleaning for being on board with the show. You want your house cleaned up, lickety-split, 616-550-3644. That's Amy's number. Makes a great gift. If you're in West Michigan, reach out to Amy about how she can help you. 616-550-3644. Okay, that's it for ads. I've got one more story that I want to talk to you about, and this is a shitstorm. Oh, my God. And this guy is such a pussy, too. He never responds to anybody. I'm talking about Joe Rogan. For a guy who has made his living doing the podcast and being, it's kind of like a no bullshit show. He sure is giving everybody a lot of bullshit. He tends not to say anything, and whenever he gets in the weeds. Now, let me just say, I think Rogan is, along with Mark Maron, the most overrated podcasters on the planet. Okay? From time to time, he'll have an interesting guest. But he's not the interesting one in those moments that I listen to. It's the guest. Okay? I don't want to listen for 3 hours, him just shooting the shit with the owners of some fucking shithole restaurant that he likes in Fresno. He actually did a show for 3 hours with the owners of his favorite restaurant because he likes it. It was a commercial. Such bullshit. This fucker does his show once a week with a cast of however many people to do the fucking show, and that's the best he can bring you. Absolute horse shit. I've found myself saying, let's try it again, listen, and then I'm fucking bored. Jesus. The commercials he does at the beginning are more interesting than the shit he does on the podcast. I'm definitely not much of a podcast listener when it comes to comics. I just don't like comics. I've never been a fan of that type of entertainment. And the so few times what's the one guy's name? The conservative dude. The guy from Canada? Jordan Peterson. I love Jordan Peterson. I was introduced to Jordan Peterson on Rogan's show. But Rogan's not interesting. Jordan Peterson is interesting, okay? He has managed to have enough success to be able to parlay this shitty, overrated podcast to the tune of a $100 million Spotify deal. So now the show has been pushed all over to Spotify. You can only get it on Spotify. The plan was, it was very simple. Spotify gives Joe Rogan $100 million. He then picks up all of his shows that he's made. He drops them onto Spotify, and then any new shows are made on Spotify. If you follow his show, you can still get it for free on Spotify. No big deal. I love that. I loved everything about the deal. I don't give a fuck about his show because, like I said, he's an overrated fuck, and the show sucks tons of dick. But I love the fact that he was able to do it. That just holds hope that for a shit show like mine, one day maybe I could be at the tip top of the heap, being able to draw some major coin like that. It breathes life into anybody who does this for a living. Okay? Now, as you all know, I'm about 3,000 times better than that piece of shit. There is no fucking way Joe Rogan has the ability to sit in front of a camera for 2 hours every fucking day and do this. He doesn't have it. He has to do, this is absolutely true. He cannot do it. There's no way. He just sits there with whoever fucking, I'm totally jealous of this guy, by the way, and does whatever the fuck, and for hours on end, drinks and smokes and talks about his space pills and all this other bullshit, and then people buy it to the tune of $100 million. Okay, so I've established that his show sucks, but whatever. If you can get it, you can get it. Here's the problem. Spotify launches the show, but they do not add to the library anybody who is right-leaning, red state, or controversial. What? So here's how it unfolded. Jordan Peter's daughter is Michaela Peterson. She tweeted out, "This is straight up censorship. This is absolutely ridiculous. My episode with Joe Rogan is number 1164. It is not on Spotify along with some other episodes." And so I guess she was on it, and she probably is a similar type of ilk, conservative in her thoughts, and so they didn't include it. Let me start from the beginning here. The Joe Rogan Experience, one of the most popular podcasts in the world, finally landed on Spotify as part of a lucrative exclusive deal. Fans wondering why some of the episodes featuring conservative guests are missing. One of the Spotify excluded guests are Michaela Peterson, the daughter of prominent self-help author Jordan Peterson, tweeted what I told you she tweeted. 46 episodes to be exact, according to research done by a fan of Rogan on Reddit. The missing shows seem to have featured conservative personalities, scandalous comedians, and people who have been deplatformed on various websites, according to the Redditor. The Spotify blacklist notably includes controversial right-wing figures such as Alex Jones, Gavin McInnes, and Milo. It's not Milo, is it? Milo Yiannopoulos. I've heard of that person, but I don't know anything about that person. The show's fans, however, were quick to follow Peterson's lead and call the incident out as censorship. This person wrote, "Waiting for more info to come out, preferably a statement from @Joe Rogan." He won't. He's a pussy. "Regarding the missing JRE episodes on @Spotify before making any conclusions. On the surface, it looks like censorship." Well, hell yeah, it does. This is bullshit. I found those episodes to be very interesting. I hate Alex Jones, but that's the one thing about Rogan. He didn't give a fuck. He interviews who the fuck he wants to and puts it out there. And if on day one of his new deal, they say, these 46 episodes don't fly on Spotify. Well, what that does is that ruins all credibility that you've built with your audience. That means that they can expect you to never have that type of wide-spanning repertoire of guests on your show going forward. They know that you are no longer dealing with the place of forthright guest culling, because they've wiped out all of those episodes. So what can they expect now? You're not dealing from a place of your true nature. You're dealing with the fucking man. And when the man is telling you how to run your show, it's ruined. Can you imagine if I suddenly today, somebody came in and said, hey, no more swearing. We're going to give you a bunch of money, but you can't swear. I'd be like, well, it's impossible. How the fuck would you expect me to do that? There's no way in hell I could possibly do that. Everybody would say you're a fucking phony, and then they jump ship immediately. So now it's so easy to cause havoc when it comes to podcasting because all you have to do is click unsubscribe. And the second that happens, everything changes. And when you're dealing with a gigantic story like this and trying to pull a fast one on the audience, oh, shit, you do not want to be in that world, and you will see. Now, mark my words, this is going to happen because 1/2 of the country doesn't like this. Quite literally, 1/2 of the country. You have alienated, okay, if you have how many people in this country and your potential audience is 300 and some million people, okay? You have now cut half of that equation out because of this scenario. So you have to ask yourself, is it worth it to you that you're now a fucking phony? And everybody is going to see right through that. Now, if you have $100 million, probably doesn't matter, I guess. Will he say anything? Probably not. Will you see any of these guests in the future? Probably not. Is it bullshit? Absolutely, it's bullshit. It's stupid. This person wrote, so at Joe Rogan Experience is on Spotify now, and unsurprisingly missing any episode of its most controversial guests, censorship in full effect, despite his claims about free speech, blah, blah. That 100 million makes it easier to forget integrity, I suppose. That's exactly what I was just saying. That's fantastic. How simple is this? So you got another one is people that's going to go, fuck it, I'm not dealing with this shit. All right. You know, and I'm all about when people get deplatformed. Like if I suddenly started saying crazy shit about racism or saying some crazy racist shit, and I got deplatformed, that's not censorship. Okay, that is a platform saying we don't want your crazy shit on here. And I can't even fully say that what is happening to Rogan is full-on censorship, okay? Because when you have a platform, they only want a certain thing on the platform. And I can promise you, Rogan knew going into the deal that this was coming, okay? So he's agreeing to this. Make no mistake. If Joe Rogan says, whoa, wait a minute, this isn't what it was supposed to. He's lying to you. That is a lie. And he didn't disclose this information. So I can't go as far as to say this is censorship because this is their platform and they can do what they want, but it is bullshit. And it's real stinky bullshit. Okay? And if Rogan doesn't say anything, that's terrible. I will have more respect for Rogan if he says, yep, that's the rules I'm playing by, and that's what I agreed to. Tough. And then that's it. But if he's like, wait, well, I didn't know, and is doing that bullshit, fucking get the fuck out of here, man. Come on. So, all right. I won't go as far as saying it's yes, they're cutting episodes out, but censorship is tricky. Yeah, I mean, to me, censorship is more of a government mandate. That's when that word works. It's like in China, your shit is censored. North Korea, your shit is censored. So that's a very strong word to say. Spotify doesn't want fucking wacky shit and conservative shit. Fine. They will pay the price for that. I can promise you they will take it on the chin over this. Same way as if they canceled all the left-leaning shit and kept the right-leaning shit on there. You can't. You just can't do it. People will just say, they'll call bullshit in a second. So the only way this can be fixed is if Rogan says, we fucked up. everything's going back to normal. Second best thing he can do is admit it and say, so what? Third thing he can do is nothing, and that's a huge mistake. Fourth is act like he didn't know what the fuck is going on. I really think this is trouble for his show. Imagine that, working as long as he has. He is, in a lot of cases, is one of the pioneers of podcasting in terms of being able to distribute content in a way that is actually a viable thing in a day and an age when radio listening is all but obsolete and all these radio stations are pulling up stakes and going belly up and mass sell-offs. Podcasting has blossomed as an unfiltered way to get your point across and draw revenue. Fuck, from the big stage to the little stage, there is a place for podcasting, and he's built it to this great, great level. And in one fucking deal, fucked it all up. Holy shit, you stupid asshole. This person writes, so Spotify has already shit the bed. Good call, Rogan. Your show is doomed. It's true. I would be very concerned about the future of the Joe Rogan experience. People are going to call you out on they already are calling out your bullshit. This person writes, seems like Rogan sold out. I really hope I'm wrong, but when the Benjamins speak, people tend to listen. And what's crazy about this is, again, Rogan made it very, very clear. Ladies and gentlemen, nothing's got to change on my end. You're just going to have to get it on Spotify. Everything's the same. I've just got $100 million, and you got the same show fucking first day. It's all fucked up. Way to go, you dumb son of a bitch. That's it. Rant over. The podcast is done. I thank you for being part of it. Books are awesome. I appreciate you supporting the sponsors. Please drop my name. Follow the sponsors on Twitter, Facebook. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Instagram's brought to you by Mario. All this shit. This is how I move the meter. This has been my job for 1 year and over 9 months. Okay, almost to the day. Because of you supporting the sponsors. Thank you for that. Thank you for your love and support on Patreon, where we will take this show for even more podcasting in just a little bit. I'll take the dogs for a walk, and I'll talk to you down the road. Bye-bye.